Hello and welcome back to Infinite Roleplay. My name is Nelson. I am your humble slayer of players. Yes, players, not player characters, because I'm that good. Um, and today we will be playing 13th Age, Nelson style. So from my left to my right, our players are Brandon. If you'd like to introduce yourself and your character.
I'm Brandon, last name Jabenik. I'm going to be playing Calvin Galloway, third level rogue.
All right, wonderful. And you know the infamous David.
What's going on, guys? Pleasure to be here with these fine players, and of course Nelson. I'm going to be playing Lathan, a level 3 human ranger, and looking forward to it.
And it is the Tim who is other. It is the Tim who is frozen. If he is speaking,
I have
we
like
can,
three. I got like three buttons I gotta push. So, I am Landon, the Necromancer. I am the follower of the great golden worm, and my future and my fortune are my own, and my destiny is set.
I need to do my intro over again.
Sure. Well, we'll do the characterizations later. I would suppose after Raphael would be so kind as to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Raphael, as you can read here. I'm gonna be playing Aegon, the High Elf Wizard, and looking forward to it. Also, you have to forgive my English sometimes. I'm from Brazil, so it's not my native language, but I will do my best. Thank you very much.
Okay, so if you gentlemen would like to do your personal character intros, characterizations, narrations, and let us know maybe what your one unique thing is, feel free. Once again, going from left to right, Brandon.
All right, let's see. He's pretty much what's the word I'm looking for? He was kind of born into like a really bad situation, like cult-wise. He was supposed to be a virgin sacrifice, ran away, joined the circus, became a thief, and his one unique thing is he's a Ken doll from the waist down, no genitalia whatsoever. So the only kicks he can get is adventuring. He's not going to settle down anytime soon. He's not going to do any of that. So and that's my character, and whoever's next.
David.
Okay, man. You guys put me to shame here. Lathan is actually a bounty hunter and an ex-soldier actually, who fell upon hard times, but was able to use his unique skill sets in order to bring certain individuals to justice. His one unique thing is that he claims to have gazed full into the visage of death and spurned her eternal embrace. And his eyes are actually like totally they're black, with no visible iris. Some people say they look like like gems or onyx when they look into them. And the other thing is that he's got a very conflicted relationship with the Prince of Shadows, the Emperor, and a negative relationship with the Diabolist. And that's it. That's Lathan.
And the other.
I pushed all my buttons. So Landon, he's a small, frail man, probably about 5'5", 5'6". He has a slight hunch to his back. His hair is receded quite far back on top of his head, and he has a very stern, piercing gaze in his eyes despite his frailty. And for those who ask, he will tell you quite freely that he is a follower of the great golden worm, and he is in fact being groomed to be the dragon of souls in the afterlife if he proves himself in this life. And he carries underneath of his arm a large book that is covered in scales. And that is Landon.
and Raphael.
Aegon was a member of the High Elf Inner Circle when he discovered that he was able to work with magic. But he was forbidden to course the Imperial Wizardry School because he was an elf. So he escaped his community and went to the wizard school and studied there, and he's mastered his art, and now he works for the Archmage. And since he escaped the elves, he has a conflicted relation with the Elf Queen, and for working for the Archmage, he has a positive relationship with him. And that's Sagan, everyone.
All right, gentlemen. As you know, the most successful nobles, they trade lives and livelihoods as easily as they trade gossip. The noble dwarven house Highcliffe is no different. They move more minds move through their hands than strands of hair flow through the brushes that they run through their beards. They use their dwarven knowledge and connection to propel themselves to the absolute pinnacle of society. Now, Ordell Highcliffe, youngest son to the house Highcliffe, is no different. Working to propel himself through his own family, to gain notice, to gain favor with his father, Ordell made a frivolous purchase. He purchased a small mine that was so old, run down, even the rumors of the mine had almost died and been forgotten. All but basically one, that the mine was just the very beginning, that it was at the start of greatness before it was shut down and forgotten, that deep within this mine, vast riches of ore were hidden, waiting to be uncovered. So he made his purchase. This angered his father, got him upset. He didn't know the value of a mine. He didn't know how to make money. So, in a lesson to teach his young son, Ordell was penalized by having his allowance taken from him. Told, "You must prove yourself. Turn a reasonable profit with this mine, and we'll talk again." Now, this mine was run down. It was old, had no workforce, was in great amounts of disrepair, and Ordell no longer had his allowance to spend to get this mine in any good condition. Now, as any dwarven house, House Highcliffe held to strict dwarven traditions, training in, fighting, combat, the knowledge of stone and stonework, masonry, smithy. But Ordell was still young, and he never saw or interacted outside of his own house. He knew nothing of the peasantry. So he thought long and hard, and he could only come up with a single solution, and that was to deal with House Tog. House Tog was what you call an up-and-coming house. It started originally as a tribe of orcs. Now, as you know, the icons usually have the Orc Lord rising, and the Orc Lord is able to unite tribes. In this instance, the head of House Tog was able to unite his tribe, to use their knowledge of combat and hunting, their ferocity, their inability to back down against high society, to use those same skills and tactics and just ferocious nature in the politics of the world. So they were his only hope. He made a deal with House Tog, and that was to share in the profits generated by this mine. He would allow them to work the mine, and they were to bring the mine up to spec, as it were. make sure they generate as much profit as possible and split the profit. Now, the first 3 months wasn't so bad. It was pretty good. They were turning, they were turning a reasonable profit. However, it was not enough to satisfy Ordell, and not nearly enough to satisfy Ordell's father. Then Ordell began to worry. By the end of the 4th month, the seed of paranoia planted in Ordell's mind by his mother began growing. He was concerned that this mind of his that had so much promise was turning over such a small profit. Had the members of the Tog family been cheating him? Were they willing to risk their precarious position in high society for such a small mine? Had they found something in the mine worth risking it all? The 5th month came and went. No profit, no report, no contact. So you stand before Ordell, fiddles around in his seat, and begins speaking. Gentlemen, I've asked you here for a bit of a favor. It seems that one of my business partners may be cheating me. I am unsure, you see, but as you know, business requires such a sharp eye. An eye that I thought I would have had for the matter, but as these things go, I must make sure that my partners are not benefiting at my expense. You'd be kind enough to pay them a visit at my little mine, won't you? The rewards will be great, I saw you say. 150, 200 coin apiece. Good, yes? Please, feel free to take whatever action you deem necessary if it so happens they have crossed one of the great House Highcliffe. Do not, however, overstep your bounds until you discover that they have indeed crossed me. If they have not, be sure to find out why they have averaged less than half of my mind's full potential.
I step forward, or rather lean forward a little bit, and I'm assuming we're in Lord Ordell's audience chamber, perhaps. Okay, clearing my throat, I say, my lord, if I am correct to understand that House Tog are the ones that are mining this, mining the resources of this mine for you, does the name Garrick ring a bell to you at all?
Garrick?
I nod and I say, my lord, this Garrick, from what I understand, is a member of this House Tog, and quite a dubious and dastardly member as well. It would be my pleasure to enter your service in order to get a closer look and see possibly if he may be the one who is causing you this discomfort.
Oh, yes, I do not bother with the names of the lower standing.
One other thing, my lord. I may have missed it, for, I am a common soul, unlike yourself, but what is it that you exactly mine from this mine?
What else do you mine from a mine but ore?
Gold, silver, copper, perhaps?
Well, the particulars. I do not believe I am here to divulge those particulars to one such as you, am I?
I give him a graciously deep bow and say, "Forgive me, my lord. I overstepped my bounds," and I step back.
And as you step back, he starts looking over the others.
Excuse me, my lord. If we do find that they are raiding your gold mine or whatever resource you are selling, do you want us to deal with them lethally or non-lethally?
Oh, as I said, if they are indeed crossing me, and you can acquire proof as to such, do with them what you will. I cannot. I do not cross one of House Highcliffe. Pardon me, I'm getting emotional.
So, of course, this would be off the books, and the law wouldn't have a issue with it.
You common folk. Here the nobility is the law, of course.
Well, I'm just making sure I'm not hanging from the gallows.
Don't keep berating me with these questions instead of doing your job and... No. You will not be hanging from the gallows if you indeed do your job correctly.
It shall be done, my lord.
And he starts looking at the rest of you a little bit more impatient. Is that all?
I say we go for it. I'm kind of bored until my next assignment for the Archmage, so I think we should do it. I'm on.
Good. Right attitude. Go for it. Scurry along. Okay, 3 buttons to be pressed, yeah?
One time, without saying anything, Landon starts turning around with his eyes still on the gentleman who's just talking, and he starts walking out of the room.
He looks a tad bit disturbed, but still carrying on his regal appearance.
Well, gentlemen, should we prepare ourselves?
Indeed, we have much to do.
Lead the way.
All right. So would it be safe to assume that we have a general idea of which direction we're going?
Oh yeah, you would know where the mine is. It's not pardon me. It's not like a state secret, the location of the mine. It's more of just who owns the mine and the moving of papers to see who can work the mine and benefit from what's in it. So, you know, a simple day or two travel, you come across this mound of earth. It opens up into a cave. The cave was, I wouldn't say recklessly cleared, but apparently there was traffic through there, and there wasn't much concern for any, obstacles as far as the foliage. There is some older wheelbarrow tracks and maybe some cloven hooves if you were to care to look. And the mine, the cave opens up and starts going down, straight down into the earth. A few hundred feet downwards, I'm assuming you have some sort of light source, correct?
I would, being, I don't know. How about a lantern? That sounds like a good light source.
Sure. You can have you can have any generalized equipment you want. Don't worry about cost or anything.
All right, yeah, I'll have a lantern, and I will offer my services to take the initiative and the lead as it is, to walk out in front of our party and interact with any of these togs that we may encounter, if that's okay with you guys.
I follow behind Lathan. I'm very eager to see what's hiding underneath the ground here.
Aegon, being the stubborn little prick he is, he would go right behind the necromancer as well, just like looking patiently, looking for anyone that might be a threat.
I'm gonna go last because it's hard to get stabbed in the back that way. So I'm flanking up the rear.
All right. There's nothing really forcing you to walk in single file. The mouth the mouth of the cave and the cave itself, as it descends into the earth, doesn't get any shorter than maybe 15 feet in width. There are, of course, off-shot caves and little tunnels here and there. You do disturb some bats on the way up. They start flapping and flying away, flying out, but nothing really nothing assails you, except for maybe the increasingly stale air as you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper. You've lost track of how deep you must be in this mine. You feel like you've been walking for at least an hour, and then you come upon the mouth of the mining facility. It looks to be half buried, with just enough cleared away that you can see the doors and the surrounding stone. And there are two very, very large iron-bound wooden doors.
No togs in sight yet?
No.
That's odd. I kind of mutter, kind of under my breath, but loud enough. So definitely Landon and if Aegon is there too, they can definitely hear me. As I kind of slowly walk up towards the doors, kind of just by force of habit, looking about, my gaze kind of scanning the earth around me as well to see if I pick up anything that maybe stands out as kind of unusual. And I say this is a mining facility or operation as it is, and where are the orcs at? There's no one guarding anything here. There's no one here. It's quiet as a tomb.
Indeed. Where things are quiet does not mean that it's lacking activity, though.
I kind of smile grimly and I say, yes, just like the earthworms in a coffin.
Yes.
I never like being in a deep dark hole with a giant door in my way with no one else around. This is a trap.
And almost as soon as you say trap, you can start hearing the creaking and the groaning of the wooden doors. The surrounding dirt seeming to fall from its cracks, and it begins to slowly open. Are you guys taking any action right now?
I don't. I
It
stand.
looks like we're expected.
I take out my short bow. Because a creaking door is never a good thing.
From the palm of my hand, you see this light blue light forming from it, just like I'm ready to cast something for the first creature that jumps out on us.
And as you gentlemen are preparing, the door is never fully open. As a matter of fact, the second door stops mere inches away as the door to the left continues to open. And as it does, the only illumination coming from Lathan and his lantern, you see a handful of orcs pop out carrying bags and shielding their eyes from the light of the lantern.
Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. We're here on the business of Lord Highcliffe.
And if you would know Orc, you would know what they're saying. But if you don't speak Orc, you just have to wait a few minutes. And yes?
I have linguistic as a feat, which means I speak all normal humanoid languages.
As do I.
Ah, okay. Well, they spoke a few curses. And they're calling for Grodd. And that was it. They just stayed silent, and they're looking at you, sort of mean-mugging you, basically.
Are there? You said they had something in their hands, sacks or bags?
Yeah, bags. Just empty bags.
Oh, they're empty. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're
are they-
apparently empty, unless you want to snatch
No,
them.
no. No. Are they heavily armed at all?
They're unarmed. Unarmed, unarmored. They seem to be wearing, like, old, soiled rags.
Is there any way for me to kind of dim the lantern or lower a something over in order to mute the light at all, or is it all or nothing?
You could probably put the lantern on the floor, and the top of the lantern would,
Okay.
be enough
I'll
to
do that.
obscure the light slightly.
Okay, all right, I'll set it down.
They have the hoods that you can close over them.
I'm gonna,
I would be between the lantern and the arc so that the light wouldn't disturb them, and I would slowly pass the magic away, and I would say just to myself, of course there are arcs here.
Yeah, and they're pretty large too. Like, they're not any slinky orcs. They're really beefy.
I lean over to Layden. What did they say? Are they good orcs or bad orcs?
They're orcs.
They begin to grumble, and those that would understand, it's like this pathetic thing. And they're looking at Calvin when they say such.
I'm assuming that they're calling for their taskmaster or foreman.
Yes, and as a few minutes go by, the orcs before you were large, very very muscular, very beefy. They look like if they weren't at war all their life, they were definitely working physical jobs all their existence. They do have old, soiled, filthy clothing, and from the door, the second door on the right-hand side begins to creak open, and with a single hand, another orc is opening this door, and he's nearly twice the size of those you see. Almost a beast of an orc. His muscles are swelling. His clothing is almost screaming as his form is about to burst through. It too is soiled and old, covered in various stains, but instead of rags, he seems to be wearing a suit that you would think those in high society wear. Yes.
Be you Grog? I say in Orcish.
And he replies to you back in Orc. Yes, Grog Tog. I'm the foreman in this mine.
All right. I say I am Lathan, and these are my companions, and I wave to the rest of them so that those that don't understand can kind of get a feeling for what I'm doing. We're here on the special. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wave back blankly because I have no idea what you're saying.
I would turn to Brandon, and I would just lean over and say, "Is he offering us a sacrifice to let him go away?"
I have no clue what he's doing. I don't speak orc.
I lean back towards them and says, he's putting on some pomp and ceremony to try to impress us.
And Grodd speaks again in Orc. Those of you that understand, he turns to the other Orcs and says, make it fast, we need supplies. And he turns back to address you gentlemen.
Okay. We are here as emissaries of Lord Highcliffe. Okay.
Oh, he goes, this time he speaks in the normal common tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the ones. Here to help, right?
Mm-hmm. I raise an eyebrow. It depends on what help you need.
I don't know what you can offer me. You all look a bit small.
I laugh. We're not here as laborers, I'm afraid. Our skills are a little more complex than that.
We'll find a use for you. And he steps aside and halfway bows and motions his hand as if for you gentlemen to enter.
All right, I'll bite my tongue because I really want to grill him right now, but I will follow what I consider to be protocol. I'll step in.
When I see Lathan's shoulders start tensing up, like he's wanting to chew him out, I just reach out my spidery hand and say, "Now is not the time."
I shrink back from that from that icy grip a little bit, and then relax, and then walk in. True, very true.
So as you gentlemen begin to file in, you notice that within the mine there's not a single light lit. There was no lights in the cave, and there are no lights in the mine. The only light coming from your lantern, and as you enter, Grodd would be eyeing your lantern, and he says,
Mind that. Mind your manners, too. I was told to give you free reign, but...
he starts squinting.
Make a left. Your quarters are over there.
And then he begins to walk into the main entrance, closing the doors behind him. And they creak close. As they are most evidently just large doors. He picks up, with a single hand, this massive plank of old wood. It looks like it must be almost 6 inches thick and about 8 feet long. Picks it up almost as if it's nothing. Slides it on the door, locking it shut.
To the left.
I point to the door with the lantern light, so it's highlighted, and I say, "What of the laborers that you sent to get resupplies? How will they get back in?"
When it's time for them to come back in. We open his door once a day, same time every day. Security, you see.
I'm curious, how do you keep time down here?
You count.
And how high can you count?
I can count pretty high.
Well, now that we've established that you can count numbers, we would actually like to find out information as to the output of this facility.
Oh.
And he's looking over you guys. I'm assuming you would have packs of supplies, or did you come without supplies?
Yeah, I'm sure we came with supplies.
Probably
Okay.
not a ton of them, but a little something, I guess.
I have 3 days.
Just enough food to go back, actually. Just some food, a coat. That's it.
It's actually
All right.
funny because I have a background in economics. I can actually probably tell how much this puts out.
So he would start escorting you, moving. Let's see if I can get give me a second, and I'm going to get a picture of the mine up.
Okay.
But one that doesn't have all the little labels. So.
Yeah, don't do like I did.
Yeah. Where is it? I told you I should have been prepared.
So I guess you were saying he was, Grodd was kind of ushering us or escorting us towards, or probably rather herding us towards our quarters.
Okay, you can see the screen, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Here is the main entrance where you gentlemen are at right now. Okay? So he'll start escorting you. The first door you see here, he points to it.
That's my office.
Points over to the corner.
Walk down that hall. That's where all the miners sleep. That's where you'll sleep. We don't got much space, but find some. Drop your shit off. Come meet me in my office.
And then he takes out from inside his suit an old key ring and starts fiddling with the lock on the door.
Security is tight.
Before he enters his office, I turn to him and ask, that wooden plank is to keep something out or to keep something inside the mine?
It's to keep thieves out and keep the product in.
Yeah, I wouldn't want any thieves about here. They're a low bunch of individuals.
It would be bad to have something stolen from this mine, yes.
I look around and say, what's there to steal? I see nothing worth of any value here.
You don't know much about mines, huh? Value's in the dirt. We dig in the dirt, get the value, get the coin. Get it?
So, what type of ore have you been pulling recently?
Like I said, make yourselves comfortable. I'll go grab my ledger. Meet me back here when you're ready.
I am very comfortable right now.
Again, fiddling with the lock. He opens it up and walks down I wouldn't say all that narrow, but it's about 5 foot wide, and he is almost 5 foot wide himself. So there's obviously no room to walk abreast with this massive orc, but he does begin to walk down this long hallway, leaving the door open behind him as he does so.
As he starts walking down the hallway, my spidery hand reaches out once again and grabs on Landon's shoulder and says, I have no desire to store my things with his workers.
Then we'll bring them along. We don't have much to carry with us anyway. And I kind of look at Calvin. You know, I think he's weighed down the most.
His hand lingers a little too long on his shoulder and finally pulls it away.
Always dramatic. Always dramatic. Okay, that's fine. Well, if you gentlemen are comfortable as you are, then by all means, let's go. So we'll follow Grodd.
Mm-hmm. And he just utters,
Make sure to close the door behind you.
Are all these doors like massively constructed? You know, super thick wood?
Yeah, they're pretty heavy wooden doors. They've been down here for a while, so they're not in the best conditions, but they're all really thick.
Okay. I don't know.
Not nearly as thick as the front entrance, though.
Okay.
If that's
all
what
right.
you're asking.
Okay. Well, I'll shut it behind as the last of us go through, and I'm assuming it takes a little effort for me to close it. So, but I try to.
Yeah. you can close it without having to roll anything, but you can feel that it has a great deal of age and, you know, the sediment of the mine would have settled in the iron hinges and whatnot, creating some resistance.
You guys can hear me kind of grunt, you know, as the door kind of squeaks shut, you know, and then as like the lantern's kind of dangling around on my belt, you know, the light kind of goes all over the place as I'm trying to struggle with this door a little bit. Then I get it. Then
Now I know how those orcs are so beefy. If I had to open and close those doors all day, I'd be as strong as them by now. And I say that while I see Leighton trying to close the door.
I wonder how much he makes.
It's not as hard as it looks. I didn't need any help. Thanks.
So, you know, Grodd, the foreman, is walking down this hallway, and it opens up into a large room. Now, this room is part bunk, part office. Okay? And there seems to be a wardrobe, and in that wardrobe is, of course, clothing. Just racks of clothing hung up very nicely, very neatly. There seems to be a great deal of order in this room. There's also a thin layering of actual dirt on the stone slabbed floors, on the desk, even on the bed. It's everywhere. And as you have walked a little bit deeper into the facility, the air is it's a little bit more stale. You know, as if someone breathing into a paper bag constantly. And he clears his throat,
Yes.
takes a seat, and pulls out a few books from underneath the desk from out of a drawer.
I shine the light of the lantern on the book.
Do you
Oh,
really need that thing?
Oh, I apologize. My mistake, and I kind of shuddered.
The air in here is bad enough as it is. We don't need to be sacrificing it to flame.
I kind of wrinkle my nose and I say, well, I figure you being the foreman here, you would ensure that your workforce remains a little more, let's say, fresh.
This mine was never in the best conditions. If you,
Starts shuffling about his desk.
Yes.
Reaches into a book on the side, pulls out an old piece of parchment.
Look here, it had a bath, but, unfortunately, as most of the mine was run down, the springs filling the bath, I don't know if they've dried up or what happened, but we can little afford to waste the water on bathing and laundry.
How long has your operation been going on here in this mine?
Do believe we're working on our 5th month.
5 months with no bathing. Tis a shame. Tis a shame.
You will understand if we're a little agitated now, won't you?
Is his mouth? Do I see the fangs in his mouth when he says agitated? Or
Oh, if you're looking, then yeah. It almost like
A little agitated.
I kind of point towards the ledger, and I say, according to Lord Highcliffe, there appears to be a how should I say? And I kind of look at the rest of the party behind me, a discrepancy of sorts.
Yes, indeed, a shortage. By calculations, it should be about 50%.
Discrepancy. That dwarf knows nothing about a mine. And the creatures that inhabit mines from time to time.
And he opens up to the beginning of the ledger.
As you can see,
He spins the ledger around and rests his massive hands on the edges of the ledger, holding it down to the table, but spinning it around so that you can actually look at it. And if you were to look at it, there's constant tracking of numbers. There's just rows and rows of very clear, very concise text, very intelligible. One of you was skilled in economics, I remember.
That would be me, the thief.
Yes.
Okay, well, you would see that this mine has actually been very profitable. Very profitable. They haven't been able to mine much, and he's not speaking. He's just showing you what he's showing you, and he's looking. And whenever you seem to stop looking at the page that you're on, he'll commence to turn the page and hold the ledger down.
I ask him, do you write the numbers yourself?
of course, I'm the foreman of this mine. Everything is under my watch.
And all the shipments have been going smoothly?
All but last month. You see,
And as you ask that, he starts telling a story, and he pulls back the ledger and closes it, pushes it to the side of his desk. Then he leans forward.
we entered this venture with over 40 of my kin. I understand that for a mine of this size, it seems a bit much, but we wanted to get it up and running as soon as possible. We've lost almost half. There's spiders in the mine. Large, vicious creatures.
You're large, vicious creatures. Can't you step on them?
He turns to you.
We do. Repeatedly, day after day. You don't understand. We've had to mine this mine 24 hours in the day, sun up, sun down, in constant, unending rotation. Even I myself have dug in the mines, just to ensure that it turns a profit.
I'll flick some of the dirt off of his desk, and I'll say, "Is that why is that the reason why your office is in the shambles that it is?"
Yeah. You have no idea what condition this was in when I first got here. I say the dwarf might have paid for it. Paid a bit much. But that's not my concern.
I rub the side of my nose while I look at Calvin, as if to say, does your eye spy anything fishy? Are we on the up and up?
Do I see anything fishy with the numbers? Like any
With the numbers that he showed you, they're all very, very, very precise. The way Ordell might have made it seem, he made it seem like they weren't making that much, and they're making quite a bit out of this mine. It's up until the point where he said they were having trouble, up until the point that you saw in the ledger. Everything was 100% on key, very clear. There's actual established businesses within the city that, being trained in economics, you would have noticed that don't even keep records this clear. You've noticed even actual shifts of groups, each group having a number, each number assigned to that group having a number in weight of actual ore, and then little scrawlings of calculations on how much that ore should have fetched and what it actually fetched.
So it's not the mine itself. It either has to be an issue with transportation or an issue with the output, which could be attributed to the spiders or something with the shipping. So, has there been any other problems just besides the spiders?
Besides the lack of air and water?
Yes, besides the lack of air and water.
How much more problems do you want to see in this mine?
As many as we can deal with.
Well, if you can get the air working, at the very least, we can have a hot meal. For fear of suffocation,
And he turns to look at the lantern.
We don't light any fires.
Why
What
is there
seems-
explosive gas around here?
I turn to Leighton. I say, put on the fire, and then from the tip of my staff, a light starts glowing, lighting up the room.
Okay. I will nod and do so. I will put the lantern out.
So, I'm curious, what is your source of air and how has it been disrupted?
There's honestly, I don't know how many passages of air they have here, but there's small little tunnels that are supposed to supply clean air. Tiny little shafts leading out of this wretched place. That and the front door, but we can't very well mine with it open all day. Security, you see.
Have those small passageways been blocked by, spiders? Or something else?
He stands up and then looks at his own form. He extends his arms, and as he's turning his hands, he's not... You don't get the sense that he's trying to make a muscle, but you can see all of his muscles rippling through his suit as he's turning around.
Well, we're not what you call small enough to crawl in those little passages.
And if you were looking, you would see him baring his teeth as he's speaking.
So you're not quite certain what it is that's blocking the passages. Am I understanding that correctly?
We haven't had the time, the men, or any resources to invest in that venture. As I said, even I myself have had to pick up a pickaxe and dig away.
That is troubling indeed.
I would turn to the orc and I would say, look, from my nose I can say that the most urgent problem is water. Isn't there a water spring or something that we can clear so that you have actually bathed?
Oh, that would be pleasant if you had that skill. I haven't bathed since I've been in here, and
He starts shuddering, as you would expect someone of high society to do at the notion of living in such filth.
look,
He grabs the rudimentary map of the mine. The map itself is very old, and the mine is, of course, on some parchment, so it's a little crumbled away, but he points over to a section, taps on it, but with his massive hands, it almost sounds like a club hitting the table.
right here.
I'm going to stop using that voice right now. I don't have enough water to keep that up all game. Right here is the bath and the privies. The bath was supposed to be the spring, as far as I know. What feeds that spring? Haven't had the time to look into. Now that you're here, maybe that's why he sends you here for.
Well, I don't believe that he actually has any concern as to why things are slow. All he wants to know is that things will speed up, and he has sent us here to find those reasons and to resolve them. How far are the air ducts from the spring?
Starts rubbing his head.
You know, I don't believe I ever looked at that.
And he starts hunching over the map, where tapping away, almost forgetting that you gentlemen are there for a moment as he's looking over the map.
I think there's one here in the mess.
Points to a very large room.
We haven't used it to cook anything since we've been here. We've used it for storage.
Starts rubbing his head again.
You know, there's everything else going on. I don't believe I've looked into that.
I look at I guess I would look at Landon and kind of give him a slight shrug, like do you think that might be where we should start?
It wouldn't hurt. Air is always pleasant, I suppose. It's been so long since I've breathed air. And he reaches his hand out and puts it gently on your shoulder.
I'm also a big fan of air.
You got what do you think?
A very large fan of air.
I've never knew I was such a fan of green air since I've stepped in this cave.
My friend, can you keep that light source, that magical light going for a while longer, you think?
Out of game, it says here I can do it up to 60 minutes, but since I have the cantrip mastery feat, I think I could be able to keep it a while longer.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, well, if the companions are agreed, I guess we can start in that location. If that sounds as good as any. What do you gentlemen think?
I think we should go and get us some fresh air, for good love of.
Perhaps it's only spider eggs that are choking the ducks.
On the plus side, we can boil them and feed them to the orcs.
And will you do the cooking of these eggs, my friend?
I took economics, not home ec.
Well, you can get going and do that instead of bantering here in my office.
Yes,
Got
I-
things to do,
And
I slowly start turning around with my eyes still making contact with him, and I start walking out the room.
yeah, unlike Ordell, your gaze doesn't faze him in the slightest.
I turn to the others and say, I know I shouldn't because, well, he's just a necromancer, but that guy freaks me out.
Just a necromancer, you say?
You have no idea the freaks I've seen at the wizardry school.
All right, Dave.
Yes.
Your guy has solid black eyes, right?
Yes.
You're the one who's seen and spurned the vision of death.
Yes, that is what he says.
Almost when the necromancer looks at Grod Tog, the foreman, and names Aegon or Aegon, right?
Yeah, Aegon.
Aegon.
Oh,
When
Aegon,
Aegon mentions he's just the necromancer, almost in the whole swing of things, you can see a sort of dark aura hovering about Grodd, and it's almost like a vision of death around, and it for a moment catches your gaze, and it seems like the dark aura, this vision of death, as it catches your gaze, it sort of wisps away very quickly into nothingness.
Well, I definitely do a double take, and if anyone was close behind me, I'll kind of stop there, and they may actually bump into me, because once I see that, I go, I'm like, whoa, what's that? Is this a portent of the future, or is he ensorcered some kind of way? So I kind of take this in, but I won't say anything at this moment. I don't like playing my hand quite this early until I know what the odds are. So
Okay.
I'm good.
So you gentlemen commence to walk down that long hallway once more?
That's correct.
All right. So you walk down the hallway, and he follows you. Once the last of you have left, he turns around, fiddling with his keys, locks the door, and he walks away. He makes a right turn, and I'll share the map once more.
So many locks inside a secured cave. I think there's something he's not telling us.
And he makes a right to go down here, down this larger hallway, and that's the narrow hallway where he told you the dorm basically was, where you were to drop off your gear and get comfortable and whatnot. And as you guys are walking towards here, you hear a little bit of a commotion. Some orcs grunting. What might sound like flesh on flesh bashing, and almost like metal digging into something.
They're playing chess.
I would turn to the rest of the group and I'd say, well, since we're gonna be here, I wanna be as comfortable as possible. I was wondering if you mind if I drop my stuff there at the dorm.
Oh, not at all. Do whatever you require to become comfortable. We will wait for you here, or perhaps even go with you.
Okay, since you have this dark background around you, it really freaks me out.
You can always illuminate more if the darkness is bothering you. I have no offense to that.
Perhaps we should stick together until we get better bearings of our surroundings, maybe.
So all of you follow him to to the dorm area?
Yeah, we better, I think.
I've become curious as to what this flesh on flesh pounding sound is in there.
I have nothing to fear, so
Okay, so you turn the corner. It turns to the left and then to the right, and it's another 5 foot wide hall, just lined with masoned stone. There's cracked areas, dirt sort of seeping through some of the cracks and areas onto the floor. And as you get closer, the sounds get louder. One of the sounds is like doof, doof, doof. Another one sounds like and you guys proceed, correct? Now,
Curious and
yes.
now as you guys proceed, you can hear, and I would like all of you to roll an easy, basic save. So just roll the d20, and on a, well, no, not an easy basic save, a medium. On a 11 or higher, you guys save, and on a 10 or lower, you guys fail.
Do basic saves get any modifiers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a flat roll of the d20.
I
Holy
think I
cow!
saved.
Yeah. So that was a 15. That's a 20. And Brandon, what did you get? Are you there, Brandon?
Sorry,
If-
I had my
okay.
microphone muted. Yeah, I rolled a 17, but it's not showing up on my video feed.
Okay, no, it's fine. That's why I was asking. So all of you managed to save. So you would see a pickaxe spinning in the air, just on the edge of the entryway as you were coming in, flying straight towards Aegon, and almost masterfully Aegon gets out of the way, and that just triggers the rest of you to just very, very eloquently dodge, and it just hits the stone of the wall and clatters. And as it does, you can see now with the light that this room is it's not a huge room. It's about 15 by 15 square. There are two orcs, one with a pickaxe in hand, the other one with nothing in hand, in one corner, and just ahead of you on a small wicker mat, there are two other orcs standing there, and as red as you would think orc flesh would get, their chests are, from apparent pounding on each other's chests. And they stand there silent, all staring at you guys, just puffing their chests up.
What's going on in here? I asked, trying to intimidate.
Roll and intimidate then.
Okay, so would that be a charisma modifier to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops. How about that? That would be a 10.
Yeah. So as you say, what's going on here? The one with nothing in hand turns to look at the other three orcs. He
That's
starts
the one.
grinning, points at you, and just starts walking in your not general, in your direct direction, right towards you. But he's walking, with that little, you know what I'm saying? If you can see
Swagger, huh?
Yeah, he's like,
That orcish swagger.
and he's just straight up staring right at you.
I will heft the kind of swing the heavy crossbow kind of around from my shoulder, closer to like my chest, and I will say, on orders of Lord Highcliffe, we're here to see what's holding up production here, and when we find out what it is, which includes horseplay and goofing about, Heads are gonna roll.
He still makes his way silently towards you
Hmm.
again, and he gets like right up in your face with the crossbow. He doesn't back down or anything, and he starts to walk almost around you, deeper into the group, and then commences to go behind you. Picks up the pickaxe, rests it on his shoulder, and then walks back again, grilling you, walking around you, and then turning around and then walking backwards.
I look over my shoulder at the rest of the party and say, we may have troublemakers here. This may be an issue.
We have orcs.
And then when he gets back to his other compatriot, the one with the other pickaxe, they sort of slap five. And the second one points down the hall. There's another hall. You sleep there, as he says in very broken common language. And then they commence to sort of aim and toss the pickaxes.
I kind of try to usher everyone out as quickly as possible, saying, yes, I think we'd be more comfortable elsewhere.
I'd rather sleep with the spiders.
I actually stand there lingering for a little too long, completely motionless, just looking at them. Just like I turned into a statue for a moment, then I follow after the rest of them.
Did you put the ick on them?
Only if I have to.
Okay.
As you stand there, they're almost they take notice of you staring at them very still, and they seem to be flexing a little extra with every motion as you do so.
I would look at them, look at my arms, and go like, shown offs. And then I would walk away and comment to someone, let's not sleep around here.
When I see them flexing their flesh, I just look at them for a moment and go, like I'm not impressed by flesh, and then I follow after the rest of the group.
All right. So as you're walking down, straight ahead of you, once it gets illuminated, is a door, and then the hall. And you would notice on the map that you were given that there are 4 other rooms down the hall. All the doors are currently closed.
I would go to the group and go, which one do you want opened?
I shrug. It doesn't matter. Whichever one you think is more inviting.
Which one are you wish to stow your belongings in?
Yeah.
And as you're discussing, you're dunk.
I'm really starting to dislike those creatures.
I will go to the first one on the on the right, just put my hand above the lock and use unlock. Wait, no, knock, sorry. And it would open.
It would unlock, or the door would just open.
Yeah, it would, like, a creature would appear and would start messing with the door until it unlocks.
So the creature would start messing with the door and then look at you very quizzically, and just look at the door and start messing with the door and look at you again very quizzically, shrug its shoulders and disappear.
Can I pick the lock?
You're going to the door?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the door that the creature couldn't open.
Alright, if you're looking for a lock, you can't find any.
Ah, come on. Alright. I'm out of ideas.
Maybe try other doors.
Maybe ask for the keys?
Dunk.
All right. Well, let's just try to open up the next one by hand, even.
So you walk a little further down?
Yeah, sure.
And as you walk further down, you hear less and less. The very distinct sounds just become background noise.
Is the air quality still just as bad around here?
The air quality is, as you walk deeper in, is getting worse and worse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's the stale smell is being overcome by the smell of salt and sweat and just countless hours of caked on body odor, and just it is hideous
Wet
in
or
here. It is hideous.
make this quick, Aegon.
Is there a duct back here?
You could look for one.
Yeah, while he's looking for some place to stow his stuff, I'm just going to start walking around the length of the hallway looking for any air ducts.
I would just look at the door, say, okay, this place is as good as any, and I just drop my belongings on the floor.
Just right in front of the door.
At the side of the door, just where your mouse is, your pointer is.
Oh, okay.
I would
That's
just
in the
drop
hall.
my stuff, yeah, in the hole. Since we can't open the doors, I'll just throw it there and say, let's get out of here
I never
as
said
soon
you
as
couldn't
possible.
open the doors. I said there were no locks.
Oh, I'm sorry, then I'll just try to push the door.
Well, if you push the door, it doesn't budge.
Can I help him push the door? See if that works.
You can. Are
What
you
about
like?
pulling it?
How are you pushing the door, you two?
Well, first I'm gonna push it, and then I'm gonna pull it. Because
Oh well, it pulls open fairly easy. It's a little bit of resistance, as you know, the
thank you,
sediment
Aiden.
from the place has settled into the hinges, making it a little bit of a trouble to open the door. But it creaks open.
Rah! Rah!
You hear Orcish as the two of you open the door. Those that speak Orcish would understand that the voice is saying, "Shift change already."
I would just look at the orc who's in there and just look at him and say, common? Do you speak common?
Change shift? Who you?
I'm just here to investigate a cause. We are just here to investigate a cause. I'll just drop my
Me
belongings
sleep. Close
here.
door.
Okay, I'll just drop my belongings here and I will be on my way. Sorry to bother you.
Dropping your
Mr.
belongings there,
Grumpy.
you would and being alone with the light, you would notice that this room is almost packed. There's a lot of orcs in here. There's like a few cots in here, like one or two cots. One looks habitable, but not really. Only just barely. It is barely. It is dirty. There's caked on filth. It's soiled. It's uncleaned. And the odd thing is that even though this is a room, the smell sort of shifts. And instead of just the raw stench of what you smelled before, it still stinks, but it's a saltier stink. You know, it's less heavy in this room. So you drop your belongings and scurry on.
Yeah, I just drop my belongings whenever I don't hit an arc because I really don't want to mess up with them right now. And I just hurry out and close the door, and I would be intrigued by the smell. Would I be able to sense any kind of magic or weirdness in here, in the room,
Do you
in
have
the
anything
corridor?
that would
Any
allow you to
background?
sense magic?
Well, I have the wizard's color background.
Wizard's color?
Wizard scholar. You know who went to the wizard school, college?
Okay. Yeah, college.
Yeah, wizard college. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, I'm bugging. That's cool. You wouldn't see anything arcane in the room at all. But you know what? Roll me a quick check, a skill
Uh,
check.
Do I add the background?
And you could add your background bonus.
How do I add numbers in this? Okay, I just roll the 20, then add the numbers. So
Yeah.
I think that would be a 13 total.
Yeah, you kind of when you're just now being a bit quizzical on anything arcane, you can remember that there seemed to be something within the foreman's office that looked like it might have been arcane or been in reference to something arcane. It looked like it might have been like a figure or a statue within his office, but in this room there is no sigils or statues or anything but just bunches of soiled sheets, old torn pillows.
I would just turn to the others and say, hey, now that we are officially starting our mission here, there was something that wasn't quite right at the foreman's office. Maybe it was like some magical objects or something. Maybe it was something else. I would need to go back and investigate any further to be able to tell for sure what is it. Just let's keep in mind that there was something arcane in there.
Duly noted.
Okay, I nod in agreement.
Door, close! Sleep!
As the orc is still barking at you gentlemen.
I'm still looking for air ducts in this area.
You're going inside the room?
Yeah, I go in the room and I look around. I'm looking down the hallway.
This guy's never gonna get any sleep.
Yeah, he's acting like that too. He needs sleep.
Door, close! Sleep! Sleep!
I
Come
go up
on!
and go,
Come on!
Rest. I will be quiet.
Quiet. Rest.
Guys, what's not get paid too well. Get paid in dirt, probably.
If you would roll me some sort of search or spot check.
Okay, so I will roll die. I rolled a 9.
Wow.
And would I attach something to that?
Do you have any background for that?
I don't see one.
I would think you could add your wisdom like normal, but
Okay.
other than that, I'm not sure that would be enough.
Okay. Well, I have a modifier plus level. It says is 3. So,
Altogether?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see any ducks, but you do notice that the air in here is less heavy. It feels a bit lighter. It's less of a heavy, thick stench, and you smell just a shift in the air. It smells a little bit saltier, like you could pick out the salt of the sweat better than
So
in
it's
the hall.
A salty funk, you would say.
The
there.
salty funk, yes.
Let's get out of here.
You're muted. I see your lips moving.
I don't mean to bother you, but are there any air ducts in this area? We're trying to remedy this situation in your working environment.
No much, come on! Rest! Hush!
I asked this guy in Orcish, which way towards the spiders? Where are the spiders coming from?
And he turns around.
The spiders are in the mine. They don't come out much. But please, I need to rest before it's my shift. We don't have much time for rest. My shift comes up next.
All right, rest your head, and I put my hand on his shoulder. Just rest, and I back up and go out of the room.
Snatches away.
I back out of the room slowly.
You guys close the door behind you or no?
Slam it.
I don't see why we wouldn't. Let the poor orc rest. He already had a necromancy touch in his head.
You slam it and just hear Orc grumbling. And in Orcish you hear, "Come on!"
Dude!
You're like the worst HR people ever.
Yes, you are. I can't believe it. So, after disturbing this poor orc miner and dropping gear just on the floor in the room, what do you do now? Where do you go?
I just dropped food and this blanket. The staff, my dagger are still with me.
Is there any indication of which direction the mines may be?
Well, from what you saw in the map, it
Mhm.
maps out mostly the facility. But once you get in the mines, it's a little, it could be anywhere. Constant mining changes the face of the mine.
Ah, okay. Well,
But
which
the mine would be in the larger area where they would have like their cafeteria, storage, the bath, and whatnot.
Maybe
All
we
right,
can
and
hire one of the orcs to be a guide.
that's actually not a bad idea.
We could ask the foreman, but I doubt he's willing to spare anyone.
I think it's probably best that we kind of go about our own way instead of disturbing the foreman again. There's something about him not quite right. I think he's not telling us everything.
Oh, I know he's not telling us everything, but neither am I.
We could just kidnap one of them and turn them into a guide.
Kidnap an orc? In here?
I guess it's a viable option.
We can.
Yes, if you're an orc, yeah.
But with the map that you have, you would notice this area.
I could try and
Which is
charm
down
one
that
of them, maybe. If you'd like, I could try and charm him. I mean,
And
I think it's best not to make enemies of all of the orcs, at least
Yeah,
all
and-
at once.
And the stench is killer, remember. You're back in the hall where it is stale, it is salty, it is funky.
which
The air is immensely thick. Every breath is definitely labored in this hallway.
Well, fortunately, I don't breathe.
which direction would that be from our location? Can we tell?
Well, yeah, according to the map, you would have to go north. Which
Okay.
you came from over here.
Oh,
You have to go
okay.
north to go into this room, to snake around down
Okay.
the main path that the foreman had walked down earlier before you came here.
Okay. Yep.
This
Okay.
would be the area.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Okay. Can Aegon kind of lead the way with his staff of light, and then we'll kind of follow, so we
I
can
would
see.
just look at you and start walking down towards the mine.
Okay. We'll head out.
All right. So as you head out, of course, you would walk down the hallway. This hallway is quite a bit wider, and then you would come across these two doors, one to your left, one to your right. You could go into these doors if you want. A little bit further was where you were told that the cafeteria area was, and that's the double doors to your right if you were to so go in. The bath being the single door to the left.
Let's go in the bath. Let's take a look in there out of curiosity, because that's what he said was malfunctioning, right?
Yeah, it would be a favor to everyone if those guys could bathe.
I agree. I agree. So we'll bypass the cafeteria if that's okay, and we'll see if we can take a peek into the bath.
All right. So who attempts to fiddle with the door
I will
in,
just
in
attempt
whatever
to open
way
it.
they want to fiddle?
I will grab the handle, right?
Okay.
And I think the guys pulled the door open before, if I'm not mistaken. So I will attempt to do that.
So you pull it open, and
Yes.
and let me open Dice Stream really quickly. So what's your physical defense? It doesn't really matter. I rolled a 19.
Oh yeah, you get me.
Okay, so you take 10 points of like rotting poison damage
Oh, wow.
as you feel your face, your eyes, your nose flare up and burn. Your eyes feel like they were going to get kicked inside of your face. Like they really feel like they hit the back of your skull. Your throat, you don't even know how your throat felt because all you can feel is all of the contents in your belly starting to rise up, even the stomach acid, as this foul stench assaults you as it escapes the door as you open it. The rest of you are smelling just a bit of it, which is nauseating, to say the absolute very least.
I rear
Um,
back, covering my face, with one arm, coughing and gagging, as I get assailed by that.
Yeah, and it is most definitely horrid. Like you feel almost like a part of your soul was torn from you.
Okay, wow. Okay,
Well, you
all right.
know, are
And this is much worse than the hallway. Like besides the thick air and whatnot, there is a putrescence in that smell. And even still standing there, you feel like it's literally striking you.
Landon, this has your name all over it. Go take a look. And now back off.
I look in the door.
You look in the door.
Yeah.
Do you stick your head in?
No, I'm from far back. I'm just like peering around the corner, just looking in.
Yeah. Though you may have worked with undead before, there is nothing of this caliber you have ever seen. As far as smells are concerned, the light. How far would that light reach, Aegon?
let me just check it out. That would be, if I'm not mistaken, 30 feet radius.
What? Okay. So this light
Just
illuminates.
let me be sure because there's a pretty high chance I'm wrong. Let me see, light. Oh, yeah, up to 30 feet in diameter.
Standard. Yeah, standard.
All right, cool. So that's insane. You can see with I didn't realize it was that bright. Forgive me. You can see that the air surrounding the door is actually waving. All right, there's a small distortion in the air. It almost seems hued in green a bit. As you look through the entryway, you see what seems to be a very large pool. The pool is about 15 feet across. And there is a bit of water, and there's some dripping. There's moss growing across the walls. There's just growth all around the pool. And even though this looks like it had once decorative tiles, those tiles are broken and shattered apart from beneath as flowers and other cave greenery push through. From looking from afar, that is.
Do I see anything moving in there?
The entire room. The air is moving everywhere, distorting your vision a bit.
Okay. But I mean, like anything crawling along. Or...
You can't really notice any figures if that's what you're talking about.
Okay.
But you can't really see into the pool either because you said you didn't go into the room to check it out.
Yeah, I didn't go in. So let's see. So I don't have to breathe, but I can still be affected by poison. Where is my...
Nelson, did you say I had any adverse effects because of that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh wow, I cleared it. I think you took 9 points of poison damage.
9? Okay, all right.
Are you still checking something?
Okay, yeah. So magical gas would still affect me. So I'm going to walk closer towards the doorway and peer in.
Magical gas affects you?
Yeah.
But not anything else, just magical?
Yeah, it says you can't drown in normal water liquid, though magical gas will probably still affect you.
But what about normal gases?
Yeah, because it says you don't need to eat or sleep or breathe.
Oh, okay. Well, you can put your head in, and as long as you don't breathe, it doesn't bother you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to breathe. I'm just going to put my head in and look around.
Your eyes do begin to water a bit, though, as
Okay.
stinging from whatever it is in this room.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and walk in and look towards the edge of the pool.
So you walk towards the pool?
I'll push the door closed a little bit.
So as you walk in, you hear...
Since
before continuing to the edge of the pool, do you change what you're doing or continue to the edge of the pool?
I'm just slowly creeping. I'm just looking as far as I can see.
Okay. You want to roll like any athletics or acrobatics?
Okay. I don't believe I have any athletics or acrobatics.
I do. I used to be a circus performer.
So, yeah, I don't have any acrobatics.
So go in the room with him. So just make a roll. Make a flat
Okay.
d20 roll then.
Ah,
Is that a 1?
yeah.
Okay, you're creeping towards the pool, and the moss is of course wet, and you hear your own footsteps, and then as you fall to the ground, hit the edge of the pool and fall into this this very shallow pool of water. And I'm just gonna roll it on the. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
I would be laughing if that guy wasn't so
So-
freaky.
So with with the door partially closed, because you said you partially closed it, correct? Yeah, you hear. I don't know if he screamed or yelped or anything, but you definitely hear the fall.
Landon! Landon!
Yes.
Are you well?
I have fallen, and I will attempt to get up. But this place is covered in moss. It may be difficult. And I try to get up.
Yeah,
What is-
the water that you're in is actually soaked in moss as well.
Okay.
What is the source of that ungodly stench?
Well, there's a swamp in here of some sort. It's filled with this wretched moss.
Wait, I have a question. You don't need to breathe, but you have to breathe to speak, correct?
I probably.
Roll me. No, I don't. I roll you. For the initial effect. Okay, that's probably not gonna hit your physical defense. What's your physical defense?
13.
Oh, just barely. Okay, so as you take a breath in to actually speak, you take 4 points of poisoning damage, and you can taste this horrid smell. I don't know if you've ever eaten rotten flesh before, but if you have, you would notice that was like a delicacy compared to the taste dancing around your tongue and infecting your lungs at the moment.
What is going on in here?
They need a really good plumber, I think.
Septic tank problems.
So, can I see anything in this pool? Is there anything at all in here?
Inside the pool, like I said, there's water. The water appears to be filthy. It's dirty. It has dirt in it. There might be a few cave critters, very tiny cave insects and whatnot in the water. There's moss growing in the water, as there is the entire way you were walking in. And there's two small little archways in the distance, but with the light being where it is, the angle can't quite illuminate what's inside of those areas.
So I'm going to get up and start walking back towards where I came from.
All right, you want to roll me an athletics check? I mean, acrobatics check? Or your choice of either, if you have either.
I don't have either.
Okay, what did you roll?
14?
14 total?
Yeah, that was
All
the
right.
die. I don't have anything to add to it.
All right, so you kind of managed to get up, but you can feel that you're tearing away some moss in certain areas as you're trying to find a handhold to yank yourself out of this pool.
Well, would I add a modifier? I don't know what modifier I'd add to it.
I think it would be the middle of any of your physical modifiers. So your
Okay.
strength, dexterity, or constitution.
Well, I have a 4 dexterity and a strength with modifier and level of 3. And
What would be the
constitution,
middle of those?
3?
3?
Yeah.
And yeah, you manage to get up. You find yourself a hold, and you roll. You halfway jump, halfway roll onto the floor of the room, which is of course higher than this inset pool.
Okay, so I get out of there, I make my way back up, and I push the door open, and then I close it behind me. So there's 2 archways on the other side, but I can't see what's inside of them.
My eyes are stinging as if they have like lemon juice in them, I'm sure. And
Most definitely.
could it possibly be worth it to try to go in there again? I doubt it.
I don't
I
think
would
so. We
offer
might
him,
have to.
like,
We might have to find some other way to find the source of the water.
I would offer him my staff and just say, remember not to talk while I'm there if you want to go in there again.
Side note, does anybody know how to make a dividing rod? Like to pick up on the water?
I'm sorry,
Not I.
how to what?
Divining rod. It's like a stick that helps you find water. They used to use it in the old days.
Mm, I don't know if my fugitive background would help, but I think it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody with a survival background or like a ranger, perhaps?
Well, we know where the water is, though.
Do we?
Yeah, so you're discussing this
Yeah.
in this mine, in the right next to the door with this smell that just assaulted your compatriots.
Well, the door's shut now, right? I think.
Well, the door is shut,
Okay.
but
it's
it's
still-
almost like the smell clung to our necromantic buddy Landon.
Too bad nobody's a cleric who could have sanctified it.
I don't think we can go back in there without
I have-
possibly never coming back out.
I have a talent called Spirit Minion, but I was looking, I didn't see anything called Spirit Minion. I saw Skeletal Minion, so perhaps I have a Skeletal Minion that I can send in there.
Wait, Layden,
Oh,
are you,
Well,
back
all
up?
right, you could pull it out of your bag if you want. Your backpack. That's where you kept them.
Yeah,
You kept the bones in your backpack, and you're gonna like take it out and like
yeah.
whisk him to life.
Yeah, the pre-gen that I download says Spirit Minion, but I didn't find anything called Spirit Minion, so I'm assuming it's Skeletal Minion.
You're the necromancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have skeletal minion as one of the talents.
Yeah, but I didn't see Spirit Minion anywhere, so I'm just assuming it was Skeletal Minion.
Yeah, it might be a typo.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this guy throws a lot of bones in the floor and then starts putting them together as a puzzle.
How about this, Landon? Describe how you bring out your skeletal minion.
Okay, so it's actually not a human. It's a skeleton of a large anaconda, and I pull it out of my bag and I drop it on the ground, and you see it just start, this skeleton of a snake uncoil and drops to the ground, and then I just speak a few words over top of it with my hand held out over top of it like this, and my eyes close, and then the skeleton just starts writhing around, and the head of it lifts up off the ground. And I tell it, I whisper something in its ear, and it starts moving into the room.
All right. As you saw Landon doing this, that dark shadow that you saw earlier, Lathan, this visage of death, begins to crawl out of his opening backpack, and he's summoning these bones, and it's crawling
What?
over these bones. Nobody else notices it but you. And as he whispers something in his ear, this visage of death, this shadowy form, looks at you. The eyes almost seem to light, and then a faint glow creases across it, looking like a smile before it snatches itself away into nothingness. And the skeletal anaconda goes into the room. As soon as you open the door for it. Who opens the door for this skeletal anaconda?
I'll push everyone back, not breathe, and I'll open the door with me behind it, and then I'll let Snake go in.
Again, the waving air. You can see it just at the crease of the door. Skeleton wafts in. The waves distill slightly. So it's been sent in. What is it doing? How do you communicate with it afterwards?
I told it to go into there and examine the arches, and then to come back.
Can it relay information to you?
I don't know. It says, I don't know. Would I be able to communicate with it?
It doesn't stipulate that anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I've more run 13th Age than play,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I don't remember much of the class stuff. And in the 13 True Ways book, I remember even less. And
Yeah.
the Necromancer's from 13 True
Yeah.
Ways.
Mm,
So unfortunately, I can't just.
You can communicate with it for all intents and purposes. It's an animal companion. So him being a necromancer, he should be able to interpret, the way its body moves, just like a ranger would pick up on, like his animal companion tiger or such. So he should be able to relay simple commands. He's been with them for a while. So like danger or not danger, or I didn't find anything, stuff like that.
Okay, so it goes in there. A minute or two passes. It comes back out. The waves in the air distort slightly as it displaces the air upon its exit. It coils up, looks at you, and let me see if you can see my camera. It starts going like this. It looks at you, then looks down at the floor and starts shaking its head from side to side.
No? No? Are you sure?
So, if you can only communicate it with as an animal companion, this is sort of a Lassie situation. You already went down the well, so yeah. Basically, it looks like if it could, if it had breath, it would be going, shooting air out.
So it's not safe in there?
It's not safe in there. It looks first at Aegon, then at Lathan, and finally at Calvin, and then at you, and goes.
It's not safe for them.
It noses towards you.
I can
And it
go
looks
in.
at them one at a time again, and looks at you and just.
Fine. I'll go back into the stench. So I see. Would I be able to use his staff with the light on it, or would it extinguish if he gave it to me?
I'd say it'll just remain on there until its natural duration expires.
Okay. So I'm going to keep my snake and use it as a guide for me. I'm going to ask him if I can take his, Aegon, if I can take his staff.
I would just give him my staff before he touches me, and I would just back away slowly.
Yes, I understand. The smell is quite strong. And I take the staff and I start kind of support myself on it as I walk into the room.
Mm-hmm. So
And I start walking.
You walk into the room and you make your way towards the closest archway, and you can see in the room that it's almost a curtain of air. Like, it's so thick, it's so vile in there. It looks like it looks definitely like a privy. Like, it's the bathroom area.
I assume.
And the closer you get to it, the more you can actually feel the physical air weighing on your body. Okay? Getting to the archway, you can see clearly that there are actually wooden buckets in the side, some partially filled, some not. Like, they've been using these buckets in lieu of the privy, and the privy is recessed a bit. It's about a 5-foot depth. I mean, not depth. 5-foot radius. No, diameter. Ugh, geometry. I'm losing it. About 5 foot in diameter, a circle that is about 6 inches sunken into the ground. Like, it must have held some sort of water or something there beforehand, but now it's just caked in layer upon layer of filth. And even the ground, if you were to walk in, you would be stepping in filth, old, dried filth as well.
So I'm gonna just. Is there look like there's any blockage that could be cleared away?
What, from the floor?
Well, I mean from the arches.
From the arches themselves, there's nothing but stone in the arches.
Okay. I mean inside of them does it look like something is blocking? Like there might be water that could flow through if something was removed.
You might have to you have to clean up the filth, go down there, see what's in that basin, see if there's any feed into the basin.
Well, I'm just going to stick the staff very into the basin and prod it.
How long will you prod it for? A few minutes, or just like one initial?
I'm just feeling it, just real quickly to see what it is, what's down in there.
Roll a d20, unmodified.
Why do I sense I'm losing my staff?
With the 5, you feel just floor, just or more like the cracking of the first few layers of filth as it gets into older, moister layers.
Older filth. Okay, well I'm gonna tap it a little bit harder.
I see you're still prodding around. Roll an unmodified d20 once again. 7. Now, while he's doing this, are you gentlemen outside just waiting for him, listening, and doing any further investigating, or what? What are you gentlemen doing?
Taking bets. Wait, you guys still alive in there?
I'm secretly thinking, oh, why did I lend him my staff?
Do we hear any errant noises from across the hall from the I was gonna say cafeteria, from the from across the doors across the hall?
Nothing really. There might be some like coom, 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 coom in the distance, but that's about it.
And Landon's undead servant is in there with him, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I'll just keep a a decent distance, at least an arm's length away from the door, but trying to keep an ear out to see if he yells for help or something.
Okay.
I wonder.
Not sure he's going to be speaking from within inside that room, but
I would be actually going a little bit southern with the excuse that I will actually go to investigate, but actually I'm just getting away from the stench.
Okay.
I go to the cafeteria to see if they have any lunch meat.
All right, so you open the door to the there's double doors. You open them up?
Yes, slowly and cautiously.
All right, so it's like
In case there's any
they
gas.
they creak open, and can you see in the dark?
No, but I do have a torch.
Are you gonna light the torch before opening the doors, or
Is that
open the
gas?
doors and realize that the only faint residual light that you were getting was from a staff inside of another room?
Yeah, speaking of that, is there any gas like leaking into the hallway that I can like smell?
Well, there is a distinct smell that was leaking into the hallway.
Ooh.
Yes,
It smells pretty badly.
you might light us all on fire.
Yeah. For a sandwich.
I'm an elf. Do I have dark vision?
Do you have light spell?
As an elf?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think so.
Okay, in that case, I would look at him and go, "Do you need any help?"
Yes, I looked at Aegon like, can you see in the dark? Because I was just gonna light a torch, but that might blow us all up.
I would go to him and just look around. I'm not inside yet. I'm just doing this checkup before entering.
The door a cursory glance shows that this is a fairly large what would normally have been some sort of dining hall or cafeteria, though you can't really notice anything as it is buried under layers of what you see to be rocks. You can notice though that if you step in a little further, a little something extra.
Alright, do you feel like exploring this area with me?
First of all, I would look at him and go, "Are you sure you want to eat something from inside here?" Then I would go and cautiously go one step further.
So you step in further, and there's just something in your periphery that kind of catches your eye. But from between the layers and layers of rocks, shattered rocks, there seems to be ever so slight of a glow. Not enough to shed any light outward, but just enough to be noticeable.
I asked him, does he see anything of interest in here?
Well, there is something that is quite curious in there. It's almost like there's some object there that it's glowing, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I can only cast one cantrip at a time, right?
I honestly can't remember.
Here it says if I have the cantrip mastery, which I do, it's at will talents. But it doesn't say that if I can or cannot.
Well, what are you trying to do right now? Just let me know, and
I would try to cast another ball of light in the center of the room.
Okay, I would
Would
think
that-
I've been trained by D&D, and with that, you could really only have one light spell going at a time.
Oh, are you familiar with the ritual casting?
Oh yeah, I do have ritual casting. Wizard cast their spells as rituals, but
So you're gonna take a few minutes to cast it as a ritual?
yeah, I think that would be best.
Okay, so
Yeah,
as Aegon is starting to chant and do his wizardly things, Lathan and Calvin, you're just gonna wait, or are you gonna do anything in addition?
I'll yell out to Landon, "Are you okay in there? What's going on?"
And moving back to Landon, he's just cracking through another layer of hardened filth down to the softer layers beneath, and then
And I
hitting the floor of the basin.
I shouldn't have yelled out because if he answers, I know. Sorry.
So I'm just going to try one more time, just try to knock through some of the stuff. So there's just this room with this 5-foot basin in there. There's nothing else in there?
There is nothing else in there. It looks, it looks like they have things to hold wooden rods, maybe to put some towels or something on. But in this particular room, no, there is nothing. And
So this was inside one of the arches, right?
this was inside of one of the archways. There was two archways.
Okay. So I'm just gonna try one more time, just to try to break through some stuff.
Okay.
Do my plumbering.
15. All right. That last time, it sort of cakes through the outer layer of filth into the softer layers, and when you would expect it to stop, it doesn't. And it goes in just a little bit deeper.
Okay. So I'm gonna swirl it.
And you can hear just the top caking just crackling.
So does it look like there might be any extra water flow coming out, or anything moving, doing?
There's nothing coming out of it right now.
Okay. My snake is not going to be a plumber snake.
It's getting softer though, as you're doing it.
Oh, jeez.
Yum.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to go creep over and look inside the other arch.
Same exact thing as you saw in this first archway.
All right.
Only now that you have all the filth on the bottom of the staff.
Yeah.
It goes about almost a foot up as well.
Okay. So nothing changed inside of that pool, and there's no extra water flow or anything.
No.
Okay. So I've had enough of this, and I turn around and I start creeping my way back out.
The bones of your giant anaconda creaking on the floor. Almost walking as if it was a centipede instead of a snake. So he exits the room. And almost just as he exits the room, the last few incantations of the ritual come to their completion.
I'm going to cautiously approach the glittering object.
The glittering object, you don't see any glittering object.
Oh, okay. So it's just him that sees it.
He doesn't see it anymore either.
Oh, okay.
There's light in the room. Like I said before, it was the faintest of glows. How do you know about the glittering object? He didn't tell you about no glittering object.
Oh, I thought I saw it.
I did actually tell him there was this glowing object in the room.
Oh, okay. So after being informed, you see no glowing object. You see just piles upon piles of rock.
I would go to the general direction of the glittering object.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell Calvin to come with me,
Yes.
and then I would turn to Lateral and Landon, I'm sorry, and I would say, keep that stuff ready because we might need it. And then I would shut the light off to see exactly where is the glittering object.
Well, dismissing the light that you had initially cast as the ritual, growing dark, and after a few seconds, your eyes adjusting back to the shadow, not too far away from you, maybe a few paces, you can see ever so slightly this faint glow creaking through the cracks of the piled rock.
I look to Aegon. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to check it out?
I'll go first, and then I would reach out for the glittering object.
You can go first and reach out, but there's just rocks there. There's rocks piled across.
In that case, I would just go like digging through the rocks, trying to get closer to this object.
All right, so you don't have to roll anything. You're digging through the rocks. Every time you move a rock, it's almost like you're disturbing previous levels as they're starting to tumble around and move. And you can start hearing a little bit of a hissing sound as you uncover this faint glow is getting brighter and brighter as you're clearing it away, and you see a very deep, dark green crystal with a faint lighter green glow emanating from it.
I would definitely try to see if there's something magical or mystical or something with the object
Okay,
before I touch it.
but if you would be so kind to roll me initiative first.
Of course, just let me check
As you as well, Calvin, or all of you if you would like.
my initiative is.
It's just a D20.
Plus
Yeah.
Dex, I think.
D2, yeah, add Dex. That's what we're used to.
So that would be a 10 total?
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
How about a 7?
That sounds worse. The rest of you gentlemen?
Well, if we're adding in the modifier plus level, that would be 19.
19. No, 19.
I got 17 plus 3.
Don't even worry about it. So that is Calvin, Landon, and then the rest of you. After I do a few things. So Calvin, Landon, as a matter of fact, Landon, you would normally go first, but Calvin, you can see in the corner of the darkness a slight shine, and the shine seems to almost be dancing. And then another shine, and then another shine. It's very odd. I would let you act first now, if you so wish, out of turn, because you're actually in the room.
Ooh, this is going to be bad. Because my first instinct is to attack anything that looks strange. Because I'm human. So if there's a dancing light, I'm like, that's probably some evil pixie trying
It's
to
not a
kill me.
dancing light. There seems to be shining, something shining the glow back, the faint glow, and it's almost like little areas of what you would think to be the shine of water, but it's coming and going depending on the glow of the light. It keeps happening in the general glow of the light, but it's within the darkness that you see this.
Well, I don't think orcs swim, so I'm going to throw a dagger at it.
So go ahead and throw a dagger at whatever it is.
Alright, give me a sec. I got 19 on the roll.
It's a fairy.
You got 19?
Yeah, plus my dex, which is like 3 in level, so I got...
Alright, cool. So roll your damage.
It was the water fairy coming to clean the toilets.
Yeah, basically. Roll your damage.
Alright, hold on 1 second. I gotta look it up real quick. Wow, they really upped the damage on this.
Kill it.
3d8? Yeah, that's because the damage goes up in 13th stage based on level.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got,
whatever die of damage you're doing, you roll that die a number of times equal to your level.
yeah, and then you get the modifier and the dex for the damage. So
You
all
only
the-
get your modifier, right?
actually,
because-
I think you get your level too.
For damage? I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's just modifier.
Your level is to
think.
your attack,
Yeah.
not
Is
to
it?
your damage.
Is it to the attack? Alright, we'll look that later, but I'll just go with attack for now. So all the
You're rolling 3 dice for a dagger. I mean, come on.
I know. I just, altogether I have 15 damage.
15?
Yeah.
So you would hear, and then again, another hiss. And with that, Landon, you can actually hear in the distance just a faint crunch and a faint hiss coming from where the cafeteria was and the 2 open doors now are.
Well, I start walking over there to look in the door and see what's happening.
Again, you can only see this. Wait, can you see in the dark?
No, but I got the staff.
Oh, you got the staff. That's right. As you walk there and illuminate the room and see these piles and piles of rocks, there is no green glow that you can see. But what is illuminated is that upon the top of these green rocks is a very large, very black spider with a dagger sticking out of it.
Ah. So I just shout, spiders!
Those are your peeps, right?
Not mine!
Do you do anything after you move?
Let's see. I'm gonna throw a dagger at it.
Alright, so you ready a dagger?
Yeah.
Okay, because you already moved, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
ready a dagger before you
Oh,
pull out another
always-
dagger.
Is there just the one?
There's just the one that you can see.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's all I do.
All right, and the prey item that it once saw and attacked it, so it scurries down the mound of rocks, some of them falling to the floor with the weight being distributed as such, and it's crawling down and lunges at Calvin. Calvin, what is your armor class?
AC is 17.
Your AC is 17. I
Yes.
do believe I smacked you up.
Ah, I don't get my momentum now. All right.
I smacked you up and only did 7 points of damage.
Wow. Well, it takes me down to 23. I'm a very flimsy rogue.
He just goes
Hey, but at least
tearing
I-
into you more with his legs right now.
I'm gonna chop those legs off. Serve them up to the orcs.
And with that, I forget who got the highest. I believe it was Aegon.
Yeah, it was me. I would look at the spider. I would just like, oh crap, I hate spiders. And just from my hand, there would be this blue ray going straight at him as I cast Ray of Frost.
Ray of
That
Frost.
would be.
He's talking about a flimsy rogue. It only did half as much damage to him as it did to it. Jeez.
Let me just be
dagger.
sure how much that is. Okay, so that would be 11 versus. Let me
No.
just check it.
No.
Versus physical damage. Yeah, I think I missed.
Yeah,
So I deal three of damage. My level.
alright. So you deal your missed damage.
Yeah.
So the bulk of the ray just misses it, and you can see that the edges of the carapace just sort of freeze over slightly, and then the frost just goes away as it naturally warms up right after. With that, are you going to move?
I think I would step back a few steps, but be close enough so that I can just hit it with all I got.
All right, and next is Lathan the Ranger. So your allies all have moved just across the hall.
Mhm.
You've heard a crunch. You've heard some incantation, and you probably heard a squeal coming from Calvin as he was assaulted.
What about light? Can I actually see anything?
All the Lathan has the light, so he's right up in there.
Oh, Landon? Okay.
I mean, yeah,
All
Landon.
right. That's fine. I know, right? Yeah, we planned that. Okay, if I can, I will try to move to a position where I can get a lock on this thing, and I'll see if I can take a shot at it if possible.
All right.
If
Because
possible.
you were ever ready with your crossbow since stepping into this damn place.
Yeah, but I'm in the back though, so these guys are probably not. So I don't know. What do you think?
No. Right now, it actually has a higher position over
Okay.
Calvin because it's on top of the rock pile.
And
while
how big
Calvin-
is this thing?
This thing's about the size of a dog.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's decent size. Okay. All right, I will try that. So let's see. So that'll be D20 plus 6, which will give me a what is that?
You rolled a
9.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
missed.
15. Okay. 14, 15.
Did you do miss damage with that or no?
It'll be 3 points of damage.
3 points of miss damage.
Yeah.
So you fire off you fire off your crossbow bolt, and it just sort of skims the edges of this thing. What was
All right,
that?
and
Oh,
then I'll rapidly reload.
all right.
Okay, then I'm done.
And it's still hissing, not making much noise, save for the clattering of the points of its legs on the stone. Landon, it is your turn, my friend.
Well, I have my dagger ready, and I'm going to throw it.
Throw your dagger, if you shall.
Well, that's not very good. That's
Yeah,
only an 11.
Yeah, you miss.
And
So-
I'm going to...
You do
Stay-
miss damage.
No, there's no misdamage.
Okay.
I'm going to hold my position.
So it just flies wide completely. Calvin, you have this this large spider, like I said, about the size of a dog, but it's higher. So to you it looks bigger because it's right in your face, and it just clawed into you. Its mandibles opening up right now, highlighting the pardon me, highlighting the protein strings, across its. I love that smile, man. Highlighting the protein strings across the gap of its mandibles.
Is my dagger still stuck in it?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna reach out, grab my dagger, take it out of him, and stab him with it again.
All right, you're gonna reach out and grab your dagger.
Yes, and then stab him.
Okay, well,
Ballsy.
roll me an attack roll to see if you can get your dagger.
Okay. Yeah, wait, I gotta do the roll. I really wish I had a camera, that way the dice would just pop up.
You can just tell me, it's fine.
I have a 3.
Yeah, your hand just goes into it and it's flimsying around in there. But you can try to run if you want. I don't know if you want to, but you
Yeah,
can push your way through your allies and run away.
I should have just punched it at that point. Or draw out a different dagger, but I wanted to be ballsy. Yeah, I think I'll try and disengage from it.
All right. If I remember correctly, popping free is an actual action, correct?
I believe it's a movement action. But I have to make a check for it.
Oh yeah, 11 plus you pop free.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
Right.
roll your
And
d20.
Maybe attack of opportunity, maybe.
14. So.
Okay, so you managed to
Very
to
nice.
dodge, duck, weave, and standing towards the gate of freedom or your allies.
Yeah, with my gooey hands, because I couldn't get my dagger.
No, there's no goo. You didn't put your hand in its mouth.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I don't want spider goo.
If you would have rolled a 1, maybe.
What's the action to draw another dagger? Is it a quick action or was it movement?
I would think it's like a quick or a move.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw another dagger. You can just
Yeah,
take
quick
that
as a
one,
draw. Yep.
and then that'll end my turn.
All right. So with that, as you're running away from it, you would assume that the stare of these many eyes atop its body are screaming a hunger as it skitters towards you again, chasing you.
Get it!
But
Kill
it
it
does
with
not
fire.
deal miss damage. It jumps up in the air, and as you were running away, it lands just as you stepped out of its reach.
Disgusting.
Aegon.
It loves you.
I don't love it.
Understandable.
It is your turn, Aegon.
I would see this creature just running after my companion. I would just cast 2 balls of magic and throw at him as I cast magical missiles as a 3rd level magic.
All right.
That would be an automatic hit and would cause. Let me open here the dice roller.
Crispy spider legs coming up.
That would be in total 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. It seems to almost burst a few of its legs, but it's still standing. You know, it dips down for a second as it was thrown off balance. You know, if it had a voice, you could tell that it would scream.
And then I would take like this one step forward in this with this really mean looking face, and I would just be ready to attack again next turn.
Okay. Let's see which one are you again before I mess it up. Lathan.
Okay, I'm last. Okay, I should be last. I will, as Calvin kind of rushes past, right? He disengaged, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He shouldered his way past, you know. He kind of bumps me, you know, and I kind of scowl at him as I try to line up a shot again, you know. And maybe I try to aim using Aegon's the magic that flared, you know, from his hands, you know, as kind of like a target. And I'll give another shot with my crossbow. See if I do any better this time. Probably not, but we'll see.
Oh yeah.
What is that? That's
That's
17.
17 on the die.
Yeah, plus 6. So yeah.
So
Okay.
your crossbow bolt was fired with such timing, it seems to be
Mhm.
almost enveloped with the magic missile.
Okay, cool. Okay. And I will do, let's see, plus 3 damage, so 7.
7?
Yeah.
All right. So you can describe how you end this thing.
Okay. I'll aim for the middle, right between its 8 glowing red eyes, you know, and send a bolt right into its furry face, and send it tumbling head over legs as it squeals and squeaks.
Lays there lifeless. A leg or two twitches before it rests and no longer moves.
I can only imagine if we were attacked by more than one of those things. Wouldn't be pretty.
As he says that, I would turn around to where this one's escaped, and I would just like see if I can see no other 8 eyes glowing, just to be sure.
I take my throwing dagger back.
Yeah, you could pull it out.
Yeah.
So at this point, what would you gentlemen like to do? Or
I walk
communicate with each other?
I walk up next to Aegon. My eyes are still on the spider, and I just hand him his staff.
I would carefully take it and just wipe the dust out of my robe.
Well, it's a
And
little more than
then-
dust.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
dust.
Yeah, I'm
Trust
sorry,
me.
the dirt.
Oh, no, it's more than dirt.
Okay, whatever is in the staff. And then I would say,
We could call it manure, I guess. That would be the
okay,
closest
the
equivalent.
manure out of my staff. I just cleaned it in my robe. I just realized it. I should have done it in his robe, but either way, I just take this outside for a second, will you? I want to see if I can spot the glowing thing again.
Oh, of course.
All right.
And I
Okay.
take
I'll-
it and I walk out.
Okay, I'll
Alright.
exit.
Yeah, anyone who remains in the room as the light is drawn from the room and the angles block. Again, you see in the corner this uncovered, sort of beat up crystal, seemingly discarded under layers of other rocks. It's a deep, dark green, almost black, and it's glowing with a faint, light greenish hue.
Then I would do the Arcana check to see if I can see it, if there is anything unusual or magic with it. So that would be 24 total.
24 total. What are
Yeah,
your
I
icon
got a
relationships
natural
again?
thir- I got a natural 20. I'm sorry?
What are your icon relationships again?
I have a positive with the Archmage and I conflicted with the Elf Queen.
Okay, positive with the Archmage, and so what you see is almost it doesn't seem to be enchanted with any very specific magics, but it is emanating magic from it. All right, and through examining it and just feeling the magical force, it seems to have been saturated with magic.
I would then share this information with the group, say, hey, this is not exactly enchanted. Maybe it's naturally magic. It does, however, contain some magic with it in it.
Did you try to take it out and bring it outside?
I would turn around to Calvin and say, you think it's a good idea to mess with it? Are you that hungry?
Who, me? Well, not after being halfway eaten by a spider. I'm no longer hungry. Killed my appetite. But did you ask me if I want to pick up the semi-precious green stone? Yes, I am going to touch it.
Then, in that case, I would go there and just take it, just to see to take a closer look or something.
So which one of you tries to pull the stone free? Or do you both try to work with the stone to pull it free?
I think I did, because I just asked his opinion, then he said yes, then I pulled it.
Okay, as you touch this crystal, this glowing crystal, I see your lip moving, but you was muted.
I'm screwed.
Maybe not. I don't know. However, when you touch this magical crystal, something happens. Roll a d20, and on a 16 or higher, you're good. You're muted.
No, I'm not. I got a 3.
A 3? So if you would, all right, take player agency and describe to us your vision of paradise.
I would then just see angels singing, and then this, how can I say it? My late grandmother just, hey, sweetie, nice of you to stop by.
And you get a vision of your grandmother. It's a beautiful day. There's open fields. There's fresh air all around you. You're walking barefoot and you can feel the soil and the grass. And it's a pleasure to see you, my dear. And as you hear that voice, pleasure to see you, my dear. A pleasure to see you, my dear. You waft away from your vision and you're staring at this deep green, faintly glowing crystal in your hands.
Whatever it is, I think it drugged me. I think it must be something connected to death or something like that. Because I would turn to Calvin and say, I just saw my late grandmother and she had baked me cookies in heaven.
So how much do you think it's worth?
Probably to some drug dealers, a lot.
I don't know, but it looked like you could turn quite a bit of profit with it, Mr. Economics. Mr. Economic Man. So yeah, your thieving little eye is like, whoa. It's crystal, it's magical. You could sell it to some mages or something.
Yeah, it's major crystal, man.
Are you guys still just the two of you inside of the cafeteria area?
Yeah, I know. I stepped outside.
Yeah, I never left. I wanted to see this through.
What I'm saying is it just the two of you in there, or did you guys step out?
I stepped out because he asked me to with the staff.
Yeah, I stepped out because.
So it's only Calvin and Aegon in there right now.
How do recovery rolls work?
If you take a short rest, you can recover. You can use any amount of recoveries during a short rest, and if you rally, I believe you can rally once during a fight. You can roll one of your recoveries.
How long is a short rest?
What is it, like an hour or so?
Oh, okay.
It's actually pretty similar to 5th edition.
Okay.
Yeah, I think daily actually goes by 4 encounters, I believe, 4 milestones.
Well, that's dependent on the GM.
Yes, that depends on you, but I think the basic was 4. What is yours? Like, is it like a story thing or like?
It's entirely dependent on the story, whether it's high action or gritty.
Okay.
And
I'm just
I'm thinking gritty.
gritty. Okay, then waiting for the long haul then. Okay. I suggest we keep the green crystal, sell it when we get back, split the profits, or you can keep it and see what we might be able to use it later. So,
I would take this green crystal. I would cut a piece of my robe, sack it, and say that the mages in the college would be glad to examine it. And then I would tie it to my belt. And I'm pretty sure it won't be
Oh,
there.
it's not a small little crystal. It's about
Oh no.
like almost the size of your head.
Oh,
so
in
big
that case,
crystal.
I would just take it with me
Yeah,
as long
and
as
it's
I'm
not. It looks like it was broken off of a bigger piece.
I'll take it with me, and as long as I'm not hallucinating anymore, I'll just take it with me and ask if Calvin wants to try it a little bit.
You're asking me if I want to try some crystal?
Well, do you want to touch the crystal and see what happened to him?
My rogue has a drug problem. Yes, I'm gonna do some crystal.
Okay, so lay your hands upon the crystal and roll me a flat d20.
I'm gonna put both my hands on the crystal.
All right, roll me a flat. Are you actually giving into whatever happens?
I rolled the straight 1. I don't have a choice.
Oh,
Great, now I'm dead.
Okay, wait a minute. That's Calvin, right?
Yeah, that's a straight 1.
Oh gosh, that's going to count as 2 failures because All right, so if you would be so kind for me and everyone else here, describe Calvin's vision of paradise.
A small private island filled with gold. Lots of boats. Pretty much Pirate King, yeah. Big ass castle in the middle of the island. Just enjoying life, you know.
And oddly enough, the castle you see is actually made from these crystals hewn into bricks.
Wow.
So
I'm
you have a
tripping.
crystal castle.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy because he has some problems, some drug problems. So
Yep.
yeah, you'd be totally digging that.
And you hear a sweet voice in the background saying, my lord, pardon me." And as you turn to look, your eyes raise upon and see Aegon, and your vision wanes away.
I am livid, wide-eyed, and I look at him. I think we know what he's mining. We are working for a crystal lord.
Would any one of you have any background in mining or messing with ores?
Unfortunately, no.
I just know economically this is a good sell.
Yeah, it's definitely a good sell.
I don't, just wizardry and stuff related to that. Nothing like
So
crystal.
do you guys finally exit the room?
I would go out with the crystal and say,
Or are you just like touching the crystal over and over?
I would just go away and just say, hey, this thing is creepy. Anyone wants to try some crystal? And tell them that we saw paradise.
Really quick, Mr. I saw the vision of death. What are your icon relationships again?
Oh man, my icon relationships are Prince of Shadows conflicted, Emperor conflicted, and Diabolist. Negative.
All right.
Yeah.
As the two of them exit the cafeteria,
The Problems of a Bounty Hunter. Yep.
you can see the faintest of shadows framing them, dancing around them. It looks like it's looking one on the side and then the other on the side.
Do I see this crystal in both of their hands as they walk out, or what?
Did you wrap it up, or I thought you wrapped it up? Or are you like presenting the crystal for them to touch it?
I was going to wrap it up, but then you said it was huge, and don't wanna be
Okay.
walking around half naked, so I just carrying the crystal.
Okay, so you're carrying the crystal. You see this this deep dark crystal. There is no glow, but there is a deep dark crystal, and you see that shadowy vision of death dancing around your allies.
So it's not clear at all. The crystal itself is actually a darkish color or something?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'll
And
take
it is very deep. It's very dark, and it seems almost black towards the center,
I'll
like
take.
if there were lighter layers and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
And it does
I'll-
look large, and like if it was broken off of an even larger piece.
Oh, so it's kind of a jagged kind of
Yes.
piece. Okay. All right. I got you.
It's not like formed or anything.
Okay. All right. I take a step back, and point at it, and I say, "Drop that thing, the both of you. What are you doing?"
I don't think we should drop it.
I would say this thing is magical. I think that the mages at the Wizard Ecology should look at it, should look into it. And until then, I think there are only options to hold on to it.
Is Landon? Is Tim here?
Yeah.
Okay. I turn towards Landon, and I grab him by the arm, and I point, and I see. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Do I see anything?
Do you walk up to? Well, you of course can see a deep dark crystal in these guys' hands. Do you walk any closer to
Yeah.
get to it, or?
I'm looking and seeing if he's pointing at anything out of the ordinary.
Well, it's a large crystal.
Okay.
You see a large green crystal.
I see a large green crystal.
No, no. The aura around them, just like Grodd.
And while you're talking about the aura around them, it seems to be gone as you're looking.
Darn you.
I don't see what you're seeing.
I shake my head and kind of mutter, am I going mad, or am I imagining this?
And the two of you from behind you can hear.
No.
I think we have more friends coming.
You guys check to see what the noise is coming from.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
As you spin around, you can see the large constrictor snake sort of looking like it's trying to get a better view, and its
okay.
ribs crawling across the stone, going.
I speak to it.
Repositioning itself.
Do you see it? Do you see what he's talking about?
It tilts its head and sways, moves closer, moves back, turns to you.
Yeah, we don't see what you're seeing, Landon.
I
Or
shake my
Lathan.
head and yeah, and I say I could have sworn I saw an aura of malice around them, around both of them.
You can
Could be.
hear echoing through the chambers.
It could be the lingering effects of that stench.
Could be could be. It's possible. I could have sworn I saw the same thing around Grodd as well.
Do we want to take a rest?
And you can
We've
start
all
hearing
been-
footsteps in the
Before
distance.
we rest, I could try to speak with the crystal. I do have this utility spell called Speak with Item.
Ooh, that sounds
So I could just like mind to mind try to connect with the crystal and ask, what is him? What are his effects? Why is he
You guys are
there?
staying there, right?
yeah. That sounds safe. You could do that.
All right, cool. You're hearing these footsteps growing closer and closer and closer. The echo is becoming more the sound, and you're using your spells and magic to speak with item, and you're talking to the crystal. What did you say to the crystal?
First of all, I would ask, what are you?
And you hear in your head, lonely. And again, the footsteps. You can start hearing orc being spoken in the background. Just those of you that understand orc, it's just regular banter. About time, and whatnot. Can't wait to get to bed.
I wave at Calvin and say, "Hey, cover it quickly."
I
would-
cover the crystal.
And down the other hallway, you start hearing footsteps as well.
I would just do one last quick action and say, why are you here?
I was brought.
Who are you?
You don't speak to item, he speaks to item.
I should have thought of that first. Then I would just...
But with that, the noise of the footsteps, the language of the orcs, it's starting to... This once dead, silent area is becoming alive. Just sonic vibrations everywhere. You could feel just the weight of the air being shifted around you as just massive amounts of orcs start flooding back into the facility.
Okay, since the orcs are
What do you do
coming...
at this moment? You feel that they're heartbeats away, all of you.
I turn and
I
look
would
down the
just
hallway
have
where
it-
they're coming from, and I move into the kitchen. I don't want to be trampled.
I would just...
You
I
hear
don't know.
the clattering following you closely behind. What was that?
I would just... Calvin was covering it, right?
Yeah, I was covering the crystal.
Then I would just, while he's going to the kitchen, give him a push so that the orcs don't see it.
Okay, so I guess I'll head to the kitchen. I think we're all heading to the kitchen.
All right.
To the, yeah.
Yeah, we can make them spider stew or something.
Oh,
So all of you are heading to the kitchen, and these orcs are flooding in. You hear the footsteps, and
Who's in the storage?
you can hear almost heavier footsteps, even amongst all of the noise. Other orcs, walking by. You can see some just almost jogging past the door, towards obviously where the dormitories would be, covered in just dirt and sweat, and almost muddy with all the dirt and the sweat that they're dripping. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. So that they're passing, you can see like layers of just dirt and everything, sweat, almost washing the dirt off of their own faces. And then the door sort of shakes, and a head pops through, and you see, towering above all the other orcs, this massive form, and what would look to be finery, though soiled and dirty.
Hey! Oh,
Starts looking up and around, sees the corpse of the spider.
you see the problem we're having?
yeah, we're all over. We're all over, Grot.
Good. Gotta get back to work.
Yeah, you get back to work.
Never rest. Never rest.
And then moving away, the door almost just, effortlessly going back and forth with the weight of his arm and his motion. He steps away. And a minute or two passes by. The echoes die down and silence falls once again within this area.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
that
close.
was close.
Yeah.
This crystal is fucking kidding me. I'm sorry for the language. Sorry, it slipped me. It couldn't be more evasive. It just won't answer for my questions. It's untalkable.
That's considering whether or not it does or does not have a consciousness to speak with.
I'm sorry?
That's depending on whether it does or does not have the consciousness to speak with.
No, I was just telling this to the group. I was just like saying that after they saw me actually trying to talk to the crystal.
Oh. Yeah, so you guys are alone in the silence, the only light being the one coming from the staff. And Calvin is hiding the crystal wrapped under something. I don't even know what it's wrapped under, but it's wrapped under something apparently.
It's my bedroll.
Ah, your bedroll. Okay, it's wrapped in your bedroll.
Yeah.
What are you gentlemen doing at this point?
I think we were gonna take a rest. Right?
You're gonna
Isn't
sleep
that
in
what
this room full of rocks?
Did there seem to be another anything in here where this spider had actually come from? Did we see any
You go
openings
investigating some more?
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe
You
I'll
go
do
moving
that.
around some rocks some more?
Yeah, I'll poke around to see if any of them are loose or anything.
Yeah, you start moving around rocks, and you're starting you start to notice dispersed from beneath the rocks you're moving other spider legs.
Nice.
Do you
Okay.
continue or do you stop?
Sure. You know what? I'll continue.
Oh, he's a
As I
rebel!
kind of grumble and mumble to myself, and complain, and look at this. And they're dead legs, of course, right? Spider corpses.
Of course.
Okay, I just want to check.
What do you mean, of course? But yes, of course.
Okay.
Some of them don't even necessarily are attached to corpses, but interspersed within this rubble is the odd spider leg here and there, and one or two spiders with like shattered, chitin on the outside, being buried here. Some seem to have been crushed under the weight of the layers and layers of stone.
Okay. All right. That's good enough for me. Does it seem like as I kind of sift around through here, do I hear the sounds of like shifting rubble or anything? Does it seem like it's going to be a hazard?
Constantly.
Okay, all right. I stop while I'm ahead. I don't want to cause any kind of cave in or anything like that.
The rubble doesn't look like it's fallen from.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rubble looks
Okay.
placed.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, so something may be buried here other than spiders. All right, I say that out loud to the rest of the group. I say, take a look at this. Look how these rocks have been placed here. Perhaps the orcs did this to hide something, or maybe that crystal was buried. Somebody may have hidden it here.
You do remember the foreman telling you that they were using the cafeteria as storage.
As storage. Okay. All right. And he of course didn't say what they were using it for storage of, and he really never said what they were mining here. Is that correct, guys?
No.
Okay.
My rogue
Interesting.
assumes it's these crystals because they're obviously valuable.
Yeah, everything in the ledger was broken down into numbers. Nothing that you saw was actual writing, but they were broken down into numbers. Everything was written in Orcish. Like the names of the people that are part of the groups, and then those groups were assigned a value, and then that value was in turn tracked shift by shift, and everything was written in weight and estimated value and attained value, and the difference between the estimated value and attained value.
And neither Landon or Aragon, neither of you with your lore of the arcane has heard or seen of anything like this crystal before?
I have not seen anything like that.
Impossible. With your mastery of all, you have never...
No, apparently never, ever have ever seen this crystal before. However, you do get some incredibly bad vibes from it.
Yes.
It reminds
What
me
he
of-
said.
It reminds me of elven cacti. Of the peyote kind of sorts.
Okay, I let out a disgusted sound. I said, I'm tired of this lack of answers. And I go over and sit cross-legged in the corner, and I pull a mirror out in my hand, and I just start chanting over top of it and waving my hands around. And I have an ability called. Where is it? It's called. Wrong one. I can create a seance, basically. I'm going to summon spirits of the dead in the area, and I will read what it says. It says, once per day, while you're not in battle, you can perform a short rite to call upon a spirit of the dead that related to a random icon other than the Lich King. The spirit will speak to you, relaying information, hopefully, or under protest if it is related to an icon that considers you an enemy with which you have a negative relationship. As a default, we rather keep things simple and say that a spirit is only going to lie if there was a roll of 1 or 2. So if you make a secret roll, and if it's 1 or 2, then it's going to lie to me.
Okay, what kind of spirit are you calling, though?
It says a random one.
A random one?
I have been someone that died in the mine or related to the icon.
I could be really mean
Yeah, you
right
could.
now.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're
Really,
thinking.
really mean. What am I thinking? Just tell me. Come on.
Spider spirit.
Nope.
That's
even
what I would
worse.
do.
No, even worse.
Orc spirit?
No, but you do see the very
Oh,
and
no,
large
not the-
form
Oh.
of your once living snake.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It says it's a random icon other than the Lich King. I'm not sure what that means.
Random icon. The snake could be. No,
Oh,
the icon comes and talks to you.
No, a spirit related to a random icon other than the Lich
Yeah,
King.
the snake.
Okay.
The random icon would be the druid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or the High Druid, I think it's called. So it seems like for a second, your snake almost seems to be growing flesh. Muscles start sprouting and shooting from bone to bone. In between the muscle sinew, you can see organs starting to form. And then after there's enough muscle sinew to cover across, you see fat and then skin. And then after you see all of this, it then grows slightly translucent until you see through it. And the form of your snake separates from its bone. It coils around and then slithers upward as if to go higher and look down upon you. And it with its tongue.
O spirit of the snake, I have summoned you to ask questions of you regarding this place. Will you answer these?
As best I can.
We have discovered this crystal here. Do you know its nature?
And it starts floating and flying around the crystal, circles it a few times, and it actually makes its way and moves through Calvin. But it never touches the crystal. It is evil, dark energies. It starts.
Is this what the miners are digging out from this place? Is this an ore that they are finding here?
Not any normal ore. Infused with evil it is.
Is all of the ore here of this?
And it slithers through and in and out of the ore. It's almost swimming in the rubble of the rocks. It seems similar. Like it was changed by sticking its tongue out, trying to taste the magic. True, otherworldly evil.
Otherworldly evil. We need to get the air flowing in this place as well as the water. Can you tell us the best way of doing this?
Now, is there a limit on time or amount
I
of
don't-
questions you can
I
ask
don't-
the thing?
It doesn't say, but
Yeah, it's specifically up to the DM. It's one of the things they leave vague for a reason.
So how well did you roll? Maybe you could just base it off of that.
Based on my roll, it'd be like
Yeah.
starting to fade now.
I don't know. That was just a suggestion. I don't know.
Yeah, it starts swimming away in the air, and it makes its way to the bath area, and it disappears inside.
Don't tell me I have to go back into that stink. I follow it, see what it's doing in there.
You go back into the room,
Yeah.
so you creak it up.
Yeah.
You don't see it in the bath area.
Do I see it anywhere?
Do you go deeper in?
Yeah.
As long as you go deeper in, you would see it in past the arches in the little privy area.
Okay. So I still have his staff, so I'm gonna be going in there and following it and not breathing.
Yeah. You want the water?
Yes.
Oh, you breathe.
I exhaled. I didn't inhale.
All right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. But that was it. That was your only freebie. Yeah, it nods. Yes, and then dives right into the center of where you were poking around with the staff and disappears.
Okay. I go back out and I tell my snake, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go down into that hole there, because that is what the spirit of the snake said is necessary. Dive in there and snake around through there.
As you say that, it looks to the side and it looks to the other side at each ally, then it looks at you and goes,
Yes, I am sorry.
and it just hangs the skull low. While this is going on, the rest of you, any one of you, what are you doing?
Desperately trying not to touch this crystal.
You
No one
seemed so
else-
adamant to touch it before.
Well, that's before I knew it was ultimate evil. Like, I'm just like, can someone else hold on to this crystal before I do something really horrible?
I would just
Oh, go ahead.
extend my hand and just like give it to me. I can take care of it.
I give it to you wrapped, so you're not touching it.
Thanks, it means a lot to me. As much as I loved my grandmother, it's not worth it.
I have a problem, and I know it's not worth it.
Now I got a quick question. Like I said, this adventure probably wouldn't fit in the scope of a one-shot, and we are at basically the 3-hour mark, about 2 hours 40 minutes, whatnot. Would you gentlemen like to continue? And if so, would you like to take a few minutes of break time to handle any personal business?
I actually am going to have to go here. So, because I counted on about 3 hours or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to try to do this as a two-parter maybe, or...
I don't know if you guys want to return.
Honestly,
Oh, go ahead.
it's been the best role-playing game I've ever played, so I would love to do it again. To continue it someday if he has to be.
I at least want to know if I get the plumbing fixed.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Can we see either if he fixes the plumbing or the plumbing fixes him?
Wow. Yeah, you can. If you command your snake to do what you wanted it to do and to not stop until it gets done, at some point you would see water coming through, but you would never see your snake again.
I can make
But
another one.
it would start floating up, and at first it's filthy, it's muddy, it's yucky, it's gucky. You know, there seems to be parts of once living things that may have been larger but reduced to smaller bits, such as an odd finger here and there. But it does seem to be slowly coming back.
Okay, well, at least we got that. Maybe it'll flood that place and get the stank out of there.
Actually, if he lost the snake, the rules say he can get one in the next battle. He just has to skin somebody and resurrect the skeleton.
He
Or-
needs a skeleton. That's all I need to know.
yeah, he
I
just
pretty
needs
much figured that out with common sense.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see the effects of this crystal on me because I know it's pretty bad because I rolled a 1. Gotta have a
Are you
trial.
continually touching it?
No, I gave it to someone else because
Oh, then you don't have to worry about it.
yeah,
At least not for now.
I know like a kid is gonna go crazy in the future probably or something horrible, like withdrawals. But I'm good with making this a 2-parter if it's okay with you guys.
Yeah, the way you guys are playing, it may be more than a 2-parter, maybe a 3-parter, if you want to continue it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's fine.
Because you guys are incredibly cautious.
I know it took us 2 hours to fix the plumbing. Yeah.
Well, you did scare us at the beginning, so there's that.
I wouldn't say I scared you. I was just honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I was really scared when you said describe how you see paradise. I thought I was a gunner.
I thought I might have killed an orc. I just threw a dagger at a random thing that moved in the night. Yeah.
So, yeah, we already know what Raphael thinks. What did the rest of you gentlemen think of this excursion thus far?
Yeah, we can come back. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it was a fun game, and I would like to continue it on.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I think so. Have fun.
All right. I got some more 13th Age to brush up on and redo and relearn.
Yeah, we don't want to let this
And then
opportunity go to
ignore.
waste.
What?
Say we don't want this opportunity to go to waste now.
Yeah. No, I think if there's really an interest, oh my God, I want to start running some 13th Age because I love the system.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's. I think it's pretty interesting. I like the mechanic, how it kind of works. And as I always say, I'm trying to find an alternate fantasy system to 5e. So I'm really interested in seeing, digging into it. So.
Yeah, I plan on adding some more to my repertoire, or
Yeah.
maybe not more, but just breaking out more of my repertoire.
Yeah, we didn't get to use the escalation die, which is like a big mechanic in 13.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to check out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did trounce through the spider fairly quickly, so
Yeah.
there was really no need for that because you wrecked it. Kind of wrecked one of you, I think.
Yeah, I'm a fragile rogue. I only got like 30 HP.
Well, 3 of us are pretty banged up. We could probably do with a short rest.
Yeah, that's what I figured we'd do. That'll be a good time for us to do that.
I'm
anyway.
fine.
Well, you can hold on to the crystal while the rest of us
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
No, I need to reshuffle my magics as well.
Yeah, you spent a lot of spells. So, yeah, with that, I think we will say see you next time, possibly in part 2 of whatever this ends up being titled. I'll save that title for the end when we're finished. Until then, my name is Nelson. This is Infinite Roleplay, obviously. And my players, if you would like to reintroduce yourselves and say any goodbyes you want, feel free.
Well,
Or not.
We all didn't want to talk at once, so.
Yeah, how about we just go from the left? That'll work. So, would that be me or would that be...
Brandon, Tim.
Okay. Name's Brandon. It was fun playing with you guys, and I guess I'll see you next week.
Tim?
Yeah. Oh, I was just throwing up my gang signs.
Oh, okay. Straight out of Compton? All right, I got you.
My LA West Side. No.
I think we're good, man.
All right, we're out.
We're good.
Peace.